Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's your boy Grandmastaj, and the October patch is among us. Arc System Works dev team for Guilty Gear just released their 8th developers backyard, and detailing, you know, detailing the patch, okay? They're detailing the patch. I'll be going over some of what they were talking about, but for the most part, I wanted to use this video to spend time to describe what I would like to see come in the future of Guilty Gear Strive. You know what else I would like to see? You watch me live at twitch.tv/Grandmastaj. Right now, I'm probably live. Probably, maybe not. Just go check, okay? Usually I am live right now, so just check it out. First things first, I would like to talk about the system changes, not character changes, the system changes I would love to see come to the game. In Arcsys' developers backyard, they talked about what they were going to be adding. Among those things, they said that they would be revising faultless defense, whatever the heck that means, adding startup, not adding, but like changing the startup time for the fastest normals in the game. So they might be faster, they might be slower. We're not really sure. They're going to be making more moves jump cancelable. So they said like they're going to change how many moves will be jump and dash cancelable, which would be interesting to see. And also they're going to be changing the anti-air interactions. In their words, they said that we will be revising how like normals, like counters, like air moves and yada yada yada. Pretty vague stuff. They didn't really give us a whole lot to work with, but that's kind of like what they said they were going to be doing. Now, what I would love to see personally is changes to the wall. Okay, I would love to see them to make wall more consistent, or at the very least give a better indication as to what the wall's like durability state is, when it's going to break. Perhaps give like sort of a reddish glow to the wall or something like that, to kind of give us like an indication as to like how much is left in the tank, if that makes sense. Because very often you would be doing a combo and like you're like, okay, this is gonna break the wall, and then it doesn't break the wall, and you know, maybe that either leaves you vulnerable, or you have to, or you weren't ready for it, or you couldn't get the kill because you couldn't wall splat, and you might lose off that sort of exchange. And that's happened to me, that's happened to other players, and it's like, it's hard to optimize what combo you're gonna do if you don't know what the durability of the wall is. So I'd love to see it either increase or just be like, just make it more consistent, man, please. Another thing I would love to see is a change to Instablock. Now, they said that they were going to be revising barrier block, faultless defense, but they didn't say anything about Instablock. I would love to see them make changes to Instablock, because as it stands right now, the Instablock window is 2 frames. 2 frames, man. That is way too short, and people just cannot use it consistently. I know me personally, I've never used it consistently to the point that like Instablock changes the way that I play the game, or changes the way how I interact with other characters, because it's just too hard to use, just too inconsistent to use. And so people just get blown up when trying to use it, because like damage is too dang high. So if you just try to like time it for that 2 frame window, you could just get blown up. Back in the previous games, both in Plus R and in Xrd, the Instablock window was 8 frames, and in most Arcsys games it was around the same like window to Instablock, and it mattered because they made moves centered around being like plus. So they wanted you to like learn how to Instablock in order to counter those like moves, in order to add more level of interactivity between the defender and the offender. Offender? Another change I would love to see is an inclusion of a new defensive mechanic. Let me explain. In Xrd, they had Blitz Shield, and love it or hate it, it added another layer of complexity between interactivity. In Plus R, they had Slashback, and if you don't know what Slashback was essentially like kind of like a parry style move, where it was similar to Instablock, but you had to like press a button while insta-blocking or something like that, and like it would drastically reduce the block stun of the move that you would be blocking. These extra layers of defensive complexity added more to the game at a higher level, and even at a mid to lower level. If you knew how to Blitz Shield, or at the very least if you knew the input for it, then you could just kind of just wing it. You could just throw it out, right? Blitz Shield certain moves, and then like as the like opposer, you have to work around said option. And if you baited Blitz Shield, you would get a fat punish. And same thing for Slashback. If you baited Slashback, or at the very least, if they mistimed Slashback, you would be punished heavily. So it was a very high risk, high reward option. And I would love to see something similar to that in Guilty Gear, because right now all we have is like Yellow RC and Barrier. And that's really it. And there's not too many other options we've got. So that's going to do it for all of the, like, system mechanics. But now let's move on to the character changes I would like to see. And I'm not going to go into specific details like, oh, I'd love to see Leo get nerfed. I'd love to see Ram get nerfed. No, like, let's explain. First things first, I would love to see a damage nerf across the board. Across the board. Why? Because high damage, while it is fun at first, and you're like, oh my gosh, he freaking died. It's like, it just gets really... It gets really dumb, and it makes you kind of almost scared to do things because, like, when you get touched, you just die, you know what I'm saying? So I would love them to make changes to damage overall, just to make games a little bit longer, just to make the games a lot more interactive, right? To make mistakes not mean so much. In Grand Blue, we saw that damage was like, whew, it was stupid high. But at the same time, the game didn't have that many options. So, like, it created this sort of, like, vacuum of, like, everyone was forced to play a particular style of way, because if you made a mistake or kind of, like, tried to alternate into something else, like, you could just die. And, like, that's not very fun, especially when it comes to, like, a high level where it's like, well, I just lost because I tried to do something and I was at 50% health and then they just touched me and... that's it. The next change I would like to see actually coincides with a damage nerf, which is I would love to see them make more combo extensions for characters all across the board. See, the problem is that right now, if they do combo extensions for all the characters, everyone would explode, and everyone would explode even faster. And that's not very fun to see, especially, like, you know, on both sides. If they both lower the damage and increased combo capabilities, perhaps, you know, hey, make the wall a bit more durable, something like that, then it would make the game feel a lot more fresh. It would make the game feel a lot more fun, right? It would allow for more character expression, and I think it would just be really good overall. A good example of this is when they changed May's command grab to be able to combo mid-screen, and same thing for Soul's command grab, even though those two characters really, like, you know, they kind of didn't need it, but, you know, we're here now. I would love to see them do something like that for all the characters in the game. Make more combo extensions, make the game more fun. Don't just nerf everything. That's what I don't want to see. I don't want to see them go the Grand Blue approach where they just nerf everything and then the game's not fun and damage is still too dang high. Or even worse, damage is lower and everything's worse, and then, like, the game's just not fun and it's stale and boring, and then it dies. That's what I don't want to see. All in all, that's my wish list, okay? Change the wall. Make the game more fun. I slam my keyboard. Make the game more fun. Okay. Lower the damage to make the game more fun. Add more defensive options, so that way, like, there's more interactivity in neutral and on defense and offense, right? Those are the things I would love to see. Those are the things that I think would make the game healthy. Honestly, I think the game's in a pretty good spot right now, but people are just kind of like, it's getting a little stale, it's getting a little boring, right? Mostly because, like, there's not enough. So, Arcsys, you know, hey, guys, if you're watching, you're probably not watching, but if you are watching, like, give people more, like, reasons to feel like the game is fun, if that makes sense, right? Don't just change things wildly for the sake of balance. Yes, keep the game balanced, but, you know, don't, like, change things just for the sake of, like, what feels fair. Do what feels fun. That's what I think. And then right now, I just don't think the wall's fun. I just don't think that that the damage being too high is fun, and I just don't think that not having a whole lot of combo extensions is just not fun. So, and same thing with defensive capabilities. Anyways, guys, that's gonna do it for your boy. Okay, hey, what the heck are you doing? Drop a sub to the channel if you like it. If you don't, then drop a sub anyway. It's free. Hey, just get the frick out of here. All right, and you'll never have to see me again. So, yeah, hope you guys have a great one. I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.